What's going on, guys? So if you own an 81 through 93 Dodge Ram, chances are your armrest looks something like this, where the plastic is broken and it's starting to delaminate like this. In this video, I'm going to show you how to repair this and get some more service life out of these armrests. So the first thing you want to do is remove this excess foam up here. Now this is factory. That's actually part of the armrest. When they put it in the mold, it actually just squeezed out, and that's a little bit of excess. So you can remove it like this to get down to the bare plastic. The next thing you want to do is use compressed air if you have it, or you could use canned air, but the pressure isn't that great. So you want to take and blow that out and get all the debris out of there that you can. The next step is you want to take either a stiff wire brush or even better, like 40 grit sandpaper, and rough up all of this plastic in here and take out any loose pieces that might be in there that are small like that, because you won't need them. So now that I've sanded all these small pieces, in fact, I actually pulled this piece out and sanded the edges of it, I'm ready to clean it. So what I'm going to use for that is acetone. You could use lacquer thinner. I don't suggest mineral spirits. It leaves kind of an oily residue. You could use rubbing alcohol. That would work as well. This is just a little bit more aggressive. Now, one thing you saw me do was set up my rag and pour my acetone, lacquer thinner, or whatever you're using onto the rag. A lot of people make a major mistake by sticking the rag up against the can like this and then pouring. And they do that for a good reason. They do it so it won't spill. But there's a major problem with this. If you reuse your rag for multiple projects or multiple times cleaning something, there's contaminants on the rag. So when you pour like this and then you go back like that, contaminants from the rag go back into your can, ruining your acetone, lacquer thinner, or whatever, because it'll contaminate your next project. So now that the broken plastic area is prepped and cleaned and ready to go, it's time to address the other side where it's delaminating. Now, if you look really closely inside of here, there's foam stuck to this vinyl. So that foam needs to be removed to make anything stick to it. One thing you could use is a wire brush, small wire brush like this, or even some sandpaper, and just get in there and remove all of that foam off of the vinyl itself. That way your adhesive will stick to this and also to your plastic. Now that I have the foam cleaned off on the inside here, I'll take acetone once again and clean that out really good. This next part I need to show you before I start to epoxy, because then you won't be able to see it. But if you look closely, you can see where there's a gap and these pieces are lifted up. So what I'm going to do is, after I epoxy this, I'll hold it together and push it back so everything's in place like it's supposed to be, and then tape it very firmly until it dries. The epoxy I'm going to use is made by Norton, and it's called Speed Grip, and it's a 2-part urethane structural adhesive. Now, you could use JB Weld, which will work just as good, and JB Weld has been around forever. You can find it at Home Depot or Lowe's or any auto parts store, pretty much anywhere, a hardware store or anything like that. And this works really well. The reason I'm going to opt to use this is because this is a big area, and this simply just isn't enough. So they do make this in larger sizes also. Now, this system here by Norton uses a special gun, and I think these guns are about $75 or $80, and I'll put a link down in the bottom to all these products if you do want to buy them. Now, this stuff here is fantastic because it's a urethane structural adhesive, and it works really well. It sticks to metal, plastic, urethane, ABS, everything like that. And this is what I use for repairing plastic bumpers on cars. Most cars these days use a urethane plastic. So this has a mixing tip, which is kind of cool. They're one-time use. You put them on there. It mixes both parts A and B through the tip. And then, of course, this hardens once you're done using it. And you simply spin this off and put on a new one. So if you're using JB Weld or an epoxy or something like that, basically you'd mix 1-to-1. So 1 part A, 1 part B, mix it up very thoroughly, and then apply it to your part. In this case, I'm going to use the Norton, but I'm not going to use the mixing tip. I'm just going to use the gun and squeeze out an amount that I need onto cardboard, mix it up, and then apply it to my part. Now you might have saw me goof up there a little bit and I actually got some on the outside. So, but not a big deal. What I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of acetone and it cleans up pretty quickly when it's still fresh like this, but once it dries, it's going to become very difficult to work with. So now is the time to clean it up. Now they make this in a bunch of different dry times also. You can get it in, I think, 30-second, 1 minute, 5 minute, 20 minute, 15 minute, and I think like 30 minute, and even 45 minute. So a lot of different options. So, but this stuff's already starting to dry pretty quickly here. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up. And one thing is, it's really nice because this stuff is sandable. So next thing I'll do is tape it up and it'll be ready to go. So if you watched closely, basically what I did was the loose pieces that were sticking up, I pushed them down, squeezed this together, and then taped it. Now this tape here is made by a company called Sure Tape. It's just basically, it's almost like a big roll of electrical tape, but duct tape would work fine, electrical tape would work fine, anything like that. Masking tape, if you are careful not to rip it. But basically, you see what I did was I shoved down right here, pulling this vinyl up and around where it's supposed to be, and then taped it into place. I let this dry for about an hour and I'm ready to take off the tape. It dried quite a bit quicker than that, but the longer you wait, the better. Honestly, if you want to wait till the next day, that's even better. Now this is really exciting because I have a good usable armrest now. Where it was delaminating is now solid, it's not coming apart, and where it was broken in here, that is all fixed. One thing I was careful not to do is fill in the original screw holes because that would make it difficult to mount and you'd have to re-drill those. So there is some high spots in here and you could easily sand those down with some sandpaper, or I'm going to use the angle grinder that I have here. Once these high spots are sanded down, it'll fit the door panel perfectly and function like it should. Now that this is sanded flat, it'll fit the door panel properly, and this is a finished piece. It's ready to go. Pretty exciting to have a nice armrest that's not pulling off the side of your truck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe down below, and if you like videos like this involving restoration, repair, and light-duty diesel performance, this is the channel for you. Also, check out our website, patriotdieselparts.com, where you can look at new merches coming out like this and pick up restoration, repair, and performance products for light-duty diesel trucks. Thanks for watching.